In 1903, a restless young man stood on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange, sweat gathering under his collar, eyes fixed on a flickering ticker tape machine that never seemed to sleep. His name was William Delbert Gann. Most people on Wall Street had never heard of him. He wasn't born into money. He didn't have a famous last name. He didn't have a powerful banker whispering secrets in his ear. What he had was something far stranger, an obsession with time. Long before traders carried smartphones in their pockets and algorithms battled each other in microseconds, Gann believed the market moved in rhythms. Not random chaos. Not blind luck. Rhythms. Patterns. Cycles that repeated like seasons. He believed that if you could understand time itself, you could predict the future. And in the early 1900s, that idea sounded insane. Gann was born in 1878 in Texas, the son of a cotton farmer. He grew up in a wooden house under the scorching southern sun, helping his father in the fields. There were no stock charts hanging in that farmhouse. No newspapers full of financial analysis. Just soil, sweat, and survival. His father wanted him to live a simple life, honest work, steady income, modest expectations. But young William had a different hunger. At night, after long days in the fields, he read the Bible obsessively. Not for religion alone, but for patterns. He noticed repetition in verses, cycles in prophecy, timelines hidden in plain sight. That curiosity would later define his trading philosophy. He believed everything, from scripture to nature, followed mathematical law. When he finally left Texas for New York, he carried no fortune with him. Only questions. The early 1900s were a dangerous time to enter finance. America was industrializing at breakneck speed. Railroads expanded across the country. Steel, oil, and cotton prices swung wildly. Titans like J.P. Morgan dominated capital markets. The average man didn't stand a chance inside those marble trading halls. But Gann didn't want to compete with the powerful. He wanted to decode the game itself. He took small jobs in brokerage offices. Observed quietly. Studied price charts for hours after everyone else had gone home. Where other traders saw noise, he saw geometry. Where others saw panic, he saw repetition. And then, something happened that changed everything. In 1909, a financial newspaper published an article claiming that William Gann had made 286 trades in 25 days, 264 of them profitable. That's a 92% success rate. Even today, that number would sound suspicious. Back then, it sounded impossible. The article claimed he predicted exact tops and bottoms in commodities markets. Not close. Exact. Suddenly, the quiet Texas farm boy was the most talked-about trader in America. But how? Gann began speaking about angles, squares, time cycles. He drew strange geometric shapes on charts. The most famous became known as the Gann square of 9. He insisted that markets move in predictable intervals based on mathematical relationships between price and time. If price moved up too far, too fast, it would correct at precise angles. If a cycle completed, a reversal was near. Most traders laughed. Some accused him of fraud. But others began to watch him closely. In 1914, when Europe descended into World War I, American markets trembled. Fear spread through investors. Gann reportedly predicted major swings tied to war timelines. He believed global events weren't random shocks, they aligned with larger cycles. While other traders reacted emotionally, Gann waited patiently for time to align with price. The 1920s arrived like a roaring tidal wave. Automobiles flooded the streets. Radios filled living rooms. Credit expanded. Stocks soared. Ordinary Americans borrowed money to buy shares. Optimism felt permanent. Sound familiar? Speculation was everywhere. Shoe shiners gave stock tips. Taxi drivers bragged about profits. Wall Street seemed unstoppable. But Gann warned of an approaching shift. He believed the market operated on 20-year and 60-year cycles. According to his calculations, 1929 was not just another year. It marked the completion of a major time sequence. While investors celebrated new highs, Gann reportedly positioned himself cautiously. When October 1929 arrived and panic gripped the markets, trillions in modern terms were erased in weeks. The Great Depression followed. Banks collapsed. Breadlines formed. Families lost homes. And yet, traders like Gann, those who respected risk, survived far better than the reckless gamblers of the boom. But here's where the story becomes complicated. Gann was not just a trader. He became a teacher. He sold courses explaining his methods. Expensive courses. Books filled with cryptic language about geometry and astrology. Some believed he was a genius sharing sacred knowledge. Others believed he made more money selling education than trading. Even today, traders debate his legacy. Was he a mathematical prophet? Or a brilliant marketer? The truth likely sits somewhere in between. Because what Gann truly mastered wasn't magic. It was discipline. He believed in strict stop-losses, precise risk control, never risking more than a small percentage of capital. He warned against emotional trading long before psychology became a mainstream topic in finance. He said something powerful once: "The market is never wrong. Opinions often are." That philosophy kept him alive through volatile decades. But life outside the charts wasn't always steady. Like many intense traders, Gann became consumed by his work. He traveled constantly, spent endless hours analyzing data. Relationships suffered. Wealth came and went. Markets humbled him repeatedly. Time, the very force he studied, eventually humbled him too. He died in 1955, not as one of the richest men in America, but as one of the most mysterious. His fortune at death remains debated. Some claim he died wealthy. Others say his trading profits were exaggerated. But his influence never faded. Today, more than a century later, traders still draw Gann angles on digital charts. They still calculate square roots of price levels. They still look for repeating time cycles in Bitcoin, gold, and stock indices. Why? Because deep down, every investor wants certainty. We want to believe the market isn't chaos. We want to believe patterns exist. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Markets do move in cycles. Not perfectly. Not predictably to the day. But human behavior repeats. Greed repeats. Fear repeats. Euphoria repeats. Panic repeats. Technology changes. Human psychology does not. Look at 2000 during the dot-com bubble. Look at 2008 during the financial crisis. Look at 2020 when global markets collapsed in weeks before staging one of the fastest recoveries in history. Different triggers. Same emotional cycle. Gann understood that better than most. But there's a deeper lesson in his story, one that goes beyond charts and angles. Obsession has a cost. The pursuit of mastery demands sacrifice. Late nights. Mental strain. Isolation. Traders who survive decades in markets develop emotional armor. But that armor can distance them from everything else. We often celebrate financial legends for their wins. Rarely do we examine the internal battles they fight quietly. Gann spent his life searching for certainty in an uncertain world. In some ways, that's what every trader is doing. Trying to impose order on chaos. But markets will always remain partially unpredictable. The real edge isn't prediction. It's preparation. It's risk management. It's knowing you can be wrong, and surviving when you are. If Gann were alive today, watching algorithmic trading and artificial intelligence dominate markets, he probably wouldn't panic. He would do what he always did. Study. Measure. Look for repeating structures. Because no matter how advanced markets become, they still run on one constant variable: human behavior. And human behavior has never truly changed. So the next time you look at a chart and wonder where price is headed, remember the farm boy from Texas who believed time governed everything. Maybe you don't need secret geometry. Maybe you don't need mystical squares. Maybe you just need discipline. Maybe you need patience. Maybe you need to respect risk more than reward. William Delbert Gann didn't conquer the market forever. No one does. But he left behind a powerful reminder. Success in trading isn't about being right all the time. It's about understanding cycles, protecting capital, and surviving long enough for opportunity to return. And in a world obsessed with fast profits and overnight gains, that lesson might be more valuable than any secret formula ever sold on Wall Street. If you enjoyed this story, drop a chart emoji in the comments. And if you want more deep-dive financial documentaries that uncover the minds behind the markets, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Because the greatest stories in finance aren't just about money. They're about the psychology, the obsession, the ambition, and the price people pay chasing certainty in an uncertain world.